right, chat. Let's finish this. I think it's a trilogy. Who knows? Depending on what happens, who knows? Rev may have another sequel to this, but right now it's a trilogy. So let's finish the iDubbbz trilogy about fucking around and finding out. So let's go.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rev here. So today we'll be revisiting the content cop that keeps on giving, well, content. So a few days ago, iDubbbz released his content cop on H3, aka Ethan Klein, and as the dust has settled, we've gotten a lot of additional context that has made this situation even more ridiculous. Now we have Ethan Klein coming out and making his official response to this content cop, providing additional context, as well as some very disturbing details about the surrounding circumstances. Now, you can see right now the dislikes continue to climb, over 447,000 dislikes versus 348,000 likes. It's safe to
say. Hang on. Context. Hang on. Give me a second. Hang on. Oh, wait. I need to bring it up on my other. Hang on a second. I want to see what it's currently at as of this moment. Here we go. Okay. Chat. You want to know what it is now? It's not. So Rev has got it at 348 likes to 447 dislikes. Yeah, it's currently, well, it's currently 353 likes. So since Rev's video, it's gone up less than 10,000 likes. The dislikes is at 506,000. The dislikes have actually jumped by about 50,000 in dislikes. That is what it's currently sitting at. Yeah. This isn't, I don't think this is going the way he thinks it's going.
To say this has been dislike bombed pretty hard, and for good reason. Who thought this would have been a good idea? Where iDubbbz revitalizes his content cop series that he said was too mean-spirited to ever open up again. He uses that to backstab his former friend while employing the help of all of his greatest haters to paint Ethan Klein as some unhinged lunatic who's crashing out over absolutely nothing, while ignoring important context like the harassment he's faced, the fake CPS calls that the related communities have encouraged against his family that actually ended up with a call being made, and also the human skulls being sent in the mail to his family. Yes, human skulls sent in the mail. That is the latest detail we just found out from Ethan Klein on this.
You guys mentioned this, I think, in the Discord. I'm pretty, wait. Was it you guys or was it someone in my YouTube comments mentioned that he got sent 2 human skulls in the mail? Yeah. This is beyond fucked up. Zeb, I do not know. It was mentioned here yesterday. Yeah. I do not know if they're real or if they're like plastic fake ones. The fact is someone sent him 2 human skulls. Like, if they are actual legitimate human skulls, yeah, that is seriously fucked up. That is some serial killer shit. And I have zero doubt that the FBI is getting involved on that one. I do not doubt.
This situation, as you can see. But of course, trying to paint him as the villain has backfired because, well, he's the one who's been reacting to a torrent of...
Okay, so this was not in context. This was not in reaction to the content cop thing. This was back during the time of the CPS event. Okay, that's context. They were real skulls, Andrea? Okay. So this was back. So this is part of the Denham's crew. Well, allegedly. allegedly the Denims community going after Ethan and his wife and Ilya. I think that's her name. So not only did they do a fake CPS call, but they also sent human skulls to their house. Because it's guaranteed it's coming from the same group of people, which all evidence is pointing to Denim's community that did this. This is like seriously, like, think about this. This is like doxing on a whole new, this is swatting on a whole new fucking level. All right, this is literally taking swatting to the next level, where you are not simply going after the content creator, you are deliberately targeting the content creator's family, targeting their young children. Okay, that is how fucked up this is. That these sick, twisted individuals are actually targeting their young children. This is beyond fucked up. And I will point out, all of the people that are suspected of, their communities doing this, to my knowledge, to my understanding, none of them have done any kind of an announcement to their communities publicly saying, do not do this. Not one of them has said, do not go after Ethan and his wife. Do not go after Ethan's family. They haven't done this. Keynote of difference. I tell you guys, like, perfect example here, with iDubbbz or with Denims, because it's her community that's suspected. You don't go after these people. You don't harass them in their streams. You don't fuck with them in their Reddits. You don't fuck with them on their Discords. You don't do shit. You don't go after them. Because we, as this community, are better than that. And that is how we prove we are better than that. Denims, Hassan, Frogan, none of them have gone out to their communities publicly and said, don't do this. And by not doing that, they are advocating for it. That's fucking sick. And it's disgusting.
Of harassment and deranged behavior for quite some time now. And when you think about this, they really try to frame this content cop, especially at the end, as something that was supposed to be empathetic. Like, they're trying to help out Ethan Klein because he's going through a tough time. He's lost his mind. He's crashing out. Well, of course, doing nothing but mocking him, harassing him, and trying to further more of the bad stuff that is happening to him. And now we have the official response from Ethan Klein on the H3H3 channel. And you can see my response to iDubbbz.
What's really funny is I hope that the sick, disgusting individual who sent the human skulls to Ethan's house, I kind of hope they did it through the U.S. mail, because if there is one federal agency that does not fuck around, it's the U.S. Postal Service. The U.S. Postal Inspectors have their own fucking special ops SWAT team. And don't think for a second that they won't break that out to go after someone that sent a family human skulls as a nonverbal threat. You do not fuck with the USPS. They have a level of authority that the FBI wishes they had. So let's hope that they were dumb enough to send it through the US mail.
And you can see the reaction to this is completely different than the content cop. So in the first 24 hours, it has a like-dislike ratio of about 97%. Compare that to about the 40% on the content cop. This has been a completely different reaction, and also understand that the communities that he is responding to here are rabid Okay, I'm not surprised if some of them are going on 5 different accounts trying to put dislikes on this video, but it's still not
Probably.
working.
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty impressed by how high the support is for this video, but it makes sense given the context with the content cop. Now, in this response video, he lays out some important context and additional details, mainly how iDubbbz was so manipulative, especially with some of the clips he was using in the beginning of the video, trying to paint Ethan Klein and even his wife, Hila, as these unhinged lunatics who are just lashing out at all these innocent parties that helped contribute to the content cop that he was.
Chat, I'm shocked. Shocked! Well, not that shocked. Like, seriously. Is anyone even the slightest bit surprised that iDubbbz skewed the ever-living fuck out of his video and completely misconstrued information in order to make Ethan and his wife look like incredibly evil people? Is anyone surprised, given whose cult he has now joined? Because let's be honest, he is now part of the cult of Hassan. He is now an acolyte for Hassan's cult. He has proven this. He flat out proved it with his video. And if he still makes videos after this, guarantee you, Hassan is going to be the one pointing out his next targets. Hassan is basically has got iDubbbz by the balls. He's actually taken iDubbbz's balls away from him, put him in a safe, and Hassan will probably now be pointing out the next targets to iDubbbz. He will be the one to say, okay, you need to do a video on this guy next. Oh no, Yardon. No, it will not. Neither iDubbbz? No, I don't think so. Because iDubbbz going after Asmund is going to backfire in the most spectacular way possible in Asmongold's favor. Because both iDubbbz and Hassan know that if they try to go after Asmund would just farm the ever-living fuck out of them. They would just make Asmongold even more popular. Okay, there's no surprise that Asmund doesn't like Hassan. I don't know what his feelings are on iDubbbz, but if iDubbbz tries to do a content cop against Asmund, A, Asmund will not fucking care about anything that iDubbbz has to say, and B, he will farm the ever-living shit out of iDubbbz and have content on him for like a few days for a couple of straights. Basically, I think Hassan and iDubbbz both know that if they actually try to go after Asmund and do a content cop on Asmund, they are actually going to help Asmund way more than they could ever think of trying to hurt him. And I think they know that. They're going to probably, they're going to probably try and target weaker content creators that don't have basically the level of power that Asmongold has. That's what they're going to try and do. They're going to go after the weak ones. Or at least they're going to try to. And Fireshark, thank you for the follow, by the way.
Crashing out that he was just losing his mind.
Hold up. Before I continue this. Atanashi, if iDubbbz and Hassan want to target me, fucking bring it. They're not going to. I am a small streamer. They're not going to bother coming after me. But if they want to come after me, fucking bring it. Bring it the fuck on. There is nothing that they can say that's gonna shut me down. I have done absolutely nothing that they can like point fingers at or try and dig up. I mean, yeah, it would be a nice boost. I'd probably do what Asmund would do and probably just try and farm it for content. I'd probably promote it. Hey, apparently I'm so big of a streamer that iDubbbz actually did a content cop on me. I'd get the big leagues. Because in this day and age, for a small streamer, controversy boosts them. Look at what happened with Banana Juju. There was a big old controversy about her fucking dreadlocks, which she actually wears in real life. What happened? Her YouTube channel, her Twitter, her Twitch, all got boosted. So iDubbbz, bring it the fuck on. Give me that wonderful little boost. I'm here. Where are you? Bring it, gamer.
Well, of course, iDubbbz during all of this leaves out all of the relevant context and tries to manipulate it to make Ethan Klein the villain.
I've enjoyed your content over the years, and as of late, it's gotten
I know,
really
Fire
fucking
Shark.
shitty.
I hope you
Yeah,
like the
so go fuck
lies.
yourself.
I agree.
Who else?
Wait,
Shitty.
shit,
Your
I talked
content
over them.
the
I'm sorry.
years. And as of late, it's gotten really fucking shitty.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Who else?
There you go.
Who else do we want to burn today?
Who else do we want to burn today? You're making it so fucking obvious that this is your emotional dumping ground. It's horrible. This is not what podcasts are. There was a way to approach this to say like, yeah, we feel hurt by you guys not
Thank
saying
you, Jack.
something. You've decided to do the extra thing and attack. Now, in fairness, I am attacking back, but I feel very insulted and I feel defensive and I feel like I am speaking up for a lot of people who have problems with you and a lot of people who have.
Hey, iDubbbz, question. Who the fuck asked you to? Who are these people that you are claiming to stand in support of and be their mouthpiece for? Seriously, who? Who are you professing to be mouthpieces for that H3 has supposedly wronged and you are standing up for them? And like, are these people in the room with us right now, iDubbbz? Are they here with us now? Do they whisper sweet little nothings in your ear? Like, seriously. Hey, it's nobody believes you did. No one. This is you saying I'm like standing up for myself. You're coping. Like, honestly, hey, when did H3? When's the last time H3? Like, I don't follow the H3 podcast. When's the last time they actually even said something about iDubbbz? When is the last time Ethan and Ilya actually said anything about iDubbbz? My guess is, considering it sounds like his channel was falling off and he hadn't really been doing anything as of late, my guess is the last time they said something about him was quite some time ago. If they said anything at all. So, dude, don't act like this is like a self-defense thing, when they probably haven't said anything in regards to you in one way or another in quite some time. Yeah, he's acting like he's reactionary, and if it's reactionary, you're probably a couple of years too fucking late, gamer.
Been on the receiving end of your harassment.
So I feel like if you didn't have any additional context, you would probably already be able to see through this facade and how much of an unbearable person iDubbbz has become. Such a condescending attitude, a holier-than-thou attitude that he has really made his entire personality at this point. But what we're referring to here is the lack of context. The clips we just saw, and many of the clips shown to prove Ethan Klein's unhinged nature, was from this podcast from about a month ago. And you can see the title, Snark Called Child Protective Services on Us. So Snark is a subreddit completely dedicated to attacking Ethan and his family. That's all they do. And people believe they were part of the reason this whole CPS call came through. Now, in iDubbbz content cop that's supposed to be fair and impartial, he never once, not a single time, mentioned the CPS call, nor did he mention anything that would give any sort of grace to Ethan Klein in this situation, because...
Yeah, forget about grace. Forget about grace. Fucking context. This is why I say context fucking matters. What they were just talking about in the clip that iDubbbz love to try and showcase as them being evil people or bad people is them in response to having this hate group literally called CPS on them and swat them. But he never bothered to showcase that. He just showed them basically saying, fuck up. Who else are we going to burn? And make it seem like they're just evil people. When the context clearly is, this was the podcast that they did in response to getting effectively swatted. But you see, if iDubbbz put the context in there, he couldn't basically sit on a fucking high horse and say, oh, I'm so much better. I'm so much better. Look at Ethan and Ilya. Look at them talking. Look at the way they're talking. I'm so much better than them. I'm being righteous in my indignation. No, you're not, dude. You're a lying little piece of shit. And you're being called out on it every step of the way.
This podcast that he made was the same day he had CPS called on his family over absolute nonsense, over people trying to manipulate and exploit that system to try to harm his family simply because they don't like his opinions on things. It's completely unhinged. We talked about it before, and now we're going to be looking at some of the additional context here provided by Ethan Klein. Now, in his response and in the content cop itself, there's a little kerfuffle about this kind of falling out over associations with some problematic people. In the video, iDubbbz says, oh, he was trying to friend police me by saying I can't associate with people like, I don't know, Denim's TV. And Ethan would say it's not just because you follow them on social media, it's because you're actively engaging with people who are saying terrible, awful things about me and my family and contributing to this harassment campaign. And you seem like you're at the very least okay with it by continuing to associate with these people, just, you know, both iDubbbz and his wife, Anissa. And
well, and at this point, he's obviously gone whole fucking hog. Because he's not only associating with people that hate Ethan and who have, like, potentially speaking, weaponized their communities against him. Look at this right here. He's made a video utilizing them as his mouthpieces, while Hassan basically has his hand shoved up iDubbbz's ass and turned him into an iDubbbz meat puppet, so Hassan's hand can work iDubbbz's mouth and parrot all of the stuff that he wants him to say. So yeah, if I was in Ethan's position, given how these fucking insane terrorist sympathizers act, yeah, I wouldn't want to have anything to do with them either. At all. And yes, Silver, this, you know what? Love finds everybody some way. Yes, he's married. Love works in very fucked up kinds of ways. It happens.
You can see from this, I mean, it was never about trying to help out Ethan Klein. All that moral grandstanding, it was just a shield for them to go after him for over an hour, attacking his character and trying to frame him as some crazy person. Now, of course, he's going to provide some of the context here and show that whole CPS situation and how so many people involved with the production of the content were in.
Married someone who left Islam, even though Throgan on Twitter tried to basically gas up iDubbbz saying he's married to a Muslim woman. When she left Islam, she's, in her own words, she has a very eclectic mix of ethnicities, and she's also an OF. So that kind of backfired on Frogan and also in a spectacularly beautiful way. Yeah, this is just hilarious how stupid all these people are, honestly, that they think that shit like this works.
Encouraging the sort of hysteria around a lot of the fake information that was being spread about what was going on with his family.
Now, why am I mad at Ian for this? Well, let's start here. Denims is someone he's accusing me of in his video of harassing. Let's see what Denim said about my children 3 days before CPS was called.
He lets his dogs shit all over his mansion, and he just leaves the shit on the floor, something that is probably related to the fact that his former housekeeper is suing him for a number of different reasons. So I would assume he doesn't actually have a housekeeper anymore, or perhaps he lost his ex-housekeeper. So now the house is just like covered in dog shit. And he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog shit, and God forbid, I don't know what they do with it. I don't know if they eat it, or if it's just from like contact with it with their hands or something, but they contracted a parasite that I had previously never heard of in my life called Giardia from the dog shit that is all over.
So again, I talked about this in a previous video about a month ago, but to give some additional context, this guy Bad at Banata here who's reporting this is acting like this is some rare unknown disease called Giardia. And that was something that over 1 million Americans a year suffer from, and we had literal pediatric nurses coming out and saying stuff like this happens to kids. They have a 3-year-old kid who's crawling around on the ground. They had a dog that they just got who was a rescue who had a stomach virus and clearly couldn't control itself in a new environment. And at some point, the 3-year-old must have crawled into it before someone noticed the leavings were on the ground and they got sick. And again, all these pediatric nurses came out and said, this is the kind of stuff they deal with every single day. They don't see a single red flag. It's unfortunate.
Oh, it was, Jack.
But that's the way it's...
Well, my rage went into the stratosphere, not because of this situation. Because this is just a bunch of really dumb fucking people that are basically armchair quarterbacking this situation. Like this one saying, Giardia can be deadly to children, bro. Really? Are you a medical professional? Random chatter 6528? And everyone else is saying, why aren't you calling CPS? It's like, this is all coming because they're listening to Empanada say stuff without actually providing receipts. He's making a claim about a housekeeper suing them, and that's it. No other receipts. Where I went fucking rage mode is, I'll see if Red is going to say it or play it. What made me go rage mode, I think, is what she says afterwards.
Sounds like it happened, but this person's making it sound like they're going around rolling around this stuff, that they're eating it, that it's, it's everywhere in their house, that it's completely unsafe. And you can see the logs here that people have gathered together of these sorts of reactions. And are you surprised that this happening 3 days before the CPS call is not much of a coincidence?
Is this true? Dude, how is it that like maybe once a week I look into what Ethan Klein's been up to, and every time I manage to find more and more terrible shit. This is where...
And that's kind of like with this Bad Empanada person, because like this video that they're reacting to, Denims is reacting to, is like very key to this whole thing where a lot of this stuff really heated up. And it's like the more I look at this guy, the more unhinged he is. Like we talk about Frogan with her quote about how...
What the actual fuck? What the fuck? Okay. Empanada, go fuck yourself. With a bad dragon wrapped in concertina wire, soaked in ghost pepper hot sauce. You are a piece of shit. And it is no wonder that people like Hassan's crew hang on your every fucking word. You are a scumbag. You do not deserve the freedoms that these veterans fought to make sure that you possess in order for you to say sick shit like this. You do not deserve to lick the shit from these veterans' boots. That is how low you are. All right, there's nothing more to say. This man is disgusting. And literally everything he says means nothing now. if you're gonna have this attitude, and this is from 2 years ago. This is from 2 years ago. But okay, if you know what? I don't care if he's in the UK. The veterans of the fucking UK died to make sure that his dumb fucking ass didn't end up in some concentration camp speaking German. So even if it's the UK, it doesn't matter. The fucking US veterans that have died have done so to make sure that your dumb fucking ass didn't grow up with your grandparents in camps, forced to learn to speak German, or didn't have your country invaded by fucking Middle Eastern terrorists and forced you to convert over to Muslim. So go fuck yourself. Abanatic needs to remember how many men and women, veterans, have died either in the course of their duties in war, or because going through those wars was so emotionally and mentally devastating to them that they felt like they had no choice but to self-delete. Like they were so wrecked mentally and emotionally, they felt like that was their only way out. You celebrating that means you are one of the biggest pieces of shit in existence. And I'm not going to actually say what I think you should do, because that is not proper for me to say. But the next time war comes out, I hope you get thrown right under the front lines so you can go through what these veterans you like to make fun of and celebrate their self-deletions go through. And then when you come out of it with traumatizing, debilitating PTSD where you feel like you have no option but to self-delete because you are so fucked in the head that no one helps you. That would be fitting.
How she thinks American soldiers deserve PTSD. I mean, he said this: every U.S. veteran gay-menning themselves is a criminal bringing themselves to justice. I think this is actually worse than the Frogan line.
Yes,
then you
it
see
is
that
100%
he was celebrating in
worse.
multiple chats when CPS was abused in order to target Ethan Klein's family over this matter. And then you also see this bizarre Instagram story that he released pretty recently where he said, the 26th and 27th of April, there is another surprise for you, Ethan. Enjoy the ruining of your life. And this is one of the clips from that story.
Tick tock goes the clock. Tick tock, tick tock. If you thought it was bad today, my friend, you just wait and see what else we have in store for you.
FBI, open up!
That's what needs to happen. And I will bet you the FBI is already looking at this. Like, that is a fucking threat. That is a fucking threat. And I will bet you that the FBI is looking at this, and I don't fucking care if he's in the UK. UK is an ally. The FBI can go arrest his ass in the UK. Yeah, I am hoping that we're going to see this investigation result in a lot of our quote-unquote favorite people getting hauled off in cuffs. Because this right here cannot be viewed as anything but a threat. Particularly since it's in conjunction with him having... It sounds like it's either very close or in conjunction with him receiving those skulls. I really hope we're going to be seeing an arrest soon.
Yeah, I mean, they all seem like really, really normal people, but You can see, based on this whole interaction here, the chat was getting very riled up by this, and it's no coincidence
Oh,
that,
yes, they
you
would,
know,
Shadows.
3 days later, there was a CPS call made. Now let's look at one more part here where Denims tries.
Okay, I have to try and be calm because I know this part. This is the part that made me go fucking rage mode. I am going to do my best to try and not go rage mode again. Because the anti-Semite decides she's going to spout the fuck off at the mouth. If you haven't seen this before, it's not good. Okay? I'm trying to be calm because I've already gone rage mode on this, and I don't want to repeat myself. Because I invariably, if I go rage, I feel like I'm going to repeat the same fucking things that I said last time. That's why I'm trying to be calm. But just chat, be prepared. This anti-Semite is going to spout off some insanely racist shit. Absolutely insanely racist shit, for which she received no punishment. I'm going to point that out. Thank you. I appreciate the effort, Duran. I do. Yeah, just be prepared that she is going to spout off some insanely racist shit, and she never received any punishment for it. So keep that in mind.
To justify a CPS call on kids because, well, a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, they probably won't remember what happens during something like that.
I don't want you to create any bad memory here for them. Like, they are 5 and 3. They don't understand this shit. So I told him,
create any bad memory for them. You're not forming memories at 3 years old, and it's very rare that you're forming memories at 5 years old. Nah, yes, you are. No, you're not. When we're talking about...
Oh, I think we missed that part last time. Her chat actually just corrected her there. Listen again. I think her chat actually corrected her there. Listen.
Nah, yes, you are. No, you're not.
Yeah, one of her chat actually said, nah, yes, you are creating memories. Her own fucking chat called her out on who they should. Her own chat did this.
When we're talking about being able to remember, being able to recall memories, it's like 4 is the cutoff. But even if you are forming any memories at 4, you're not going to be able to remember them past like 15.
Yeah, you get it.
And okay, Denims, I know you're a dumb, stupid cunt, but I'm going to educate you. Okay, I'm going to educate the anti-Semite chat. No one is saying that you will have crystal clear memories of when you are age 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No one's saying that you will be able to crystal clear remember those times. You know what you will recall from those times? Traumatic emotional experiences. If you as a human being are aware of your surroundings and a traumatic experience happens, that will imprint in your mind. And that will create an imprinted trigger in your mind that can potentially last the remainder of your life. So, being a victim of a traumatic incident like CPS getting called on you and causing your parents to become very scared and there being a lot of chaos because a false CPS thing was called in, yes, those kids can remember that. They can remember the feelings they experienced because as this anti-Semite doesn't realize, as this anti-child person doesn't realize, is that feelings are actually more intense than the memory itself. How often, perfect example, chat, how often do you experience a sight, a sound, a scent that triggers something in your brain and you suddenly get very anxious, very nervous, very panicked. And you just don't know why. A car backfiring, an odd scent that is weird. A weird shape that you see out of the corner of your eye. And it triggers an instinctive response in you that results in basically a flight or fight response that you don't know why. It's just an instinctive thing. That's called you experience something when you were a very young child that you don't remember in detail, but your brain has captured that emotional response you got from it and has basically set up triggers in your mind that when you experience that specific thing will trigger your flight or fight response so you can try and avoid it again. Some people do have excellent memories of when they were very young. Some do. For the most, it's an emotional response that stays fucking with them, potentially for the rest of their lives. And bearing in mind, I know this not because I am a mental health professional. I am not purporting myself to be a mental health professional by any stretch of the imagination. However, I am a logical person. I do read. And I do know how, to at least a small degree, how the mind works.
She wears many hats. She's an expert in many different fields and is able to make very bold statements like this, basically saying that a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, who cares if they make there's a false CPS report made on their family and now the kids have to be interviewed. Who cares what happens because they won't remember it anyways, which is total BS, by the way. And also, what a chilling effect that would have if you use that as a standard for all kids across the world, right? So, like, nothing matters. As long as they're not, like, physically harmed, nothing matters because they're 3 and 5. Like, what? An absolutely deranged thing to say here. And, like, don't you see why someone would be uncomfortable with this person being friends with you or your wife when they're talking about your family like that? And it gets even worse.
Exactly.
There's other clips like this where she tried to imply that
this one. God, Reb, you might be playing this clip. I hope you don't. This is the one that just set me the fuck off. This one set me the fuck off. This is why I started calling her the anti-Semite. Is because she basically says this about Helia when they're doing this. Yeah, this is absolutely fucking disgusting what she did.
Hila, Ethan's wife, was a child killer.
And
I mean,
if you opened the
Guys, the IDF member is bringing us back to reality. Okay? The IDF member is bravely taking a break from killing unarmed children to bring us back to reality.
Yeah. She said that. I went the fuck off on this. Because this is not the first time we've seen this. Okay? This uneducated anti-Semitic cunt, number one, does not understand or chooses not to understand. And yes, Rygat, it is 100% slander. It absolutely is slander. But what this stupid bitch refuses to acknowledge is Helia. When you live in Israel, when you are an Israeli citizen, you are required to partake in military service. And by all accounts that I have heard, Helia never saw combat. Helia was a desk clerk. By all accounts that I have heard, she was not a combatant. And she was in the IDF because it is part of every citizen in Israel does service in the IDF. And Israel is not the only country on the planet to do this. I've talked about this before. There are other countries that also have their citizenry do mandatory military service. South Korea is one example that I know right off the top of my head. But this right here is slander. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised that Ethan hasn't gone forward with any kind of a lawsuit, of a slanderous lawsuit against Denims for this. Because I can picture, especially given the context of what has happened to Ethan, such as CPS being falsely called on him, such as the scolds being sent to his home, I can absolutely think, I could absolutely see a legitimate lawsuit being filed against Denims with this right here being Exhibit A. Because Denims has a community of God only knows how much. And she's telling this community, who view her as being a source of legitimate information, God only knows fucking why, she's telling them that Helia unalives infants or young people. And her brain dead fucking community will believe it. And you don't think they're not going to act on it? Well, okay, Cortanas, Twitch is not going to take legal action against them because Denims, Froken, and all of them are part of Hassan's community. Like, his overarching community. They fall basically under Hassan's little umbrella. And Twitch won't do anything to Hassan. Hassan is Twitch's golden boy. So they are afforded a measure of protection by that, unless their hand is forced. That's why they haven't taken action. Well, legal action taken against Twitch itself? It's possible. I'm pretty sure Ethan, where was he doing a pride? Didn't Ethan do a protest of some sort outside of Twitch headquarters or something because of this very thing? I know he was planning on a demonstration of some sort outside of, I can't remember if it was Twitch, if it was YouTube, if it was Twitter, something. He was planning a demonstration outside of their building because of all this shit, because no action was taken against them. For the life of me, I can't remember which platform it was, because this was some time ago. But, I mean, it may be time for some lawsuits to start getting filed. So that basically Twitch stops, cherry picking who they're gonna slap with, like, hate speech TOS bans. Laruck, no, she's not confusing anything. She's being racist. Okay? Denims is being deliberately racist because, according to the anti-Semite and all of her anti-Semite friends, literally every person involved in the IDF are basically genocidal freaks. That is their stance.
What a wild and gross thing to say. And also, for those who don't know, the IDF is something that anyone born in Israel, like his wife, Hila, they have to participate when they turn 18. So she uses that as an opportunity to imply that she was game-ending unarmed children during her service, which is a outlandishly slanderous thing to say, but also something that apparently is pretty funny to people like Hassan Piker, who was reacting to the response that Ethan Klein made recently.
Fuck. God damn it. I didn't realize this was going to happen. Okay, chat, get ready. We are in react-ception time. I didn't realize this was going to happen. We are going to have Ethan reacting to Ian, Hassan reacting to Ethan, reacting to Ian, Rez reacting to Hassan, reacting to Ethan, reacting to Ian, and then me reacting to all of it. I did not realize this was going to happen, but fuck it, we ball.
This is how he reacted to that whole segment we just looked at.
The boy could be an actor, you know what I mean?
Denims. who literally calls my wife a baby killer, amongst other insane, terrible things.
And Hassan's laughing about this. Think about that. Ethan just said, correctly so, that Denims called his wife an infant deleter. Hassan's response? Laughter. Twitch's golden boy, chat. This is Twitch's golden boy.
All right. Well, he's just like, dude, this is such a funny way to react to this.
Funny.
Am I missing something, guys?
Funny. Funny way to react to it. Interesting. And I'll betcha if anybody said something similar about Hassan, you think he'd react the same way? You think he'd laugh like that? No, he'd piss himself defending himself. Yeah. He's laughing because Denims is too busy gobbling his dick. That's why he's laughing. He's laughing because his cock gobbler parroted the words that he told her to parrot. And yes, do not drop in Hassan's stream, Nebzerker. Don't drop it. Don't drop it in his stream. Don't drop it in Denim's stream. None of them. I've made this very clear. You do something like that, I will boot your ass. Because we don't play that game in this chat. This stream is not about going after people. No, Nebzerker, it's not even feeding the trolls. It's not even that. Me, and this community, don't worry about Nebzerker. It's fine. But we, myself, and every one of you that is a part of this stream, part of this community, are better than him. Just remember that. Hassan may be a large content creator on Twitch, but all of us, chat, every single one of us, just remember this. We're better people than Hassan. We may not have his wealth, we may not have his huge community, but that doesn't matter because we are better than he is. We are better people. We are better human beings. Why? Because we're actually compassionate. We can be upset about what someone says something. We can disagree with their viewpoints. We can be upset about their viewpoints. But we're better than them because we don't actually attack them. We don't go after them because they said something mean. We can criticize them. We can rage about what they said because what they've said is disgusting and horrible. But we don't go after them. We don't go into their chats and spam them. We don't go after, I do not have my community going after them on a personal offline level or even an online level. And that makes us far better people than Hassan or Denims could ever hope to dream of being. They are absolute pieces of shit. We are not. Just remember that.
Am I missing the joke here? Like, what is so funny? Are we watching an episode of Bro Tips? Some classic Hassan Piker stuff here. Like, is that what we're laughing at? Because I don't understand what's so funny about someone implying that their wife is a baby killer. Like, what is so hilarious about that? And of course, he has no actual...
It's... Shadows, it's not the high road. It's the fucking human road. It's not a matter of high roads and low roads. It is simply being a decent fucking person. Something that these two know nothing about. What have I always said? Regardless of your political ideology, your religious ideology, none of it matters. Just be a decent fucking person. It's literally as simple as that. And these two are too fucking brain dead to figure that out. Sucks to be them.
Like argument as to why that was acceptable whatsoever, why Ethan is so wrong for being offended by that. He's just like, oh, dude, okay, dude, as per usual. But anyways, in Ethan's response, we would get another very disturbing round of information here. It wasn't just the CPS call around that time. There was another very disturbing development that he's going to explain right now.
There's something that I've never talked about publicly, but around the same time, we received 2 human skulls in the mail at our home, which led us to having a very pleasant interview with the FBI. Things have progressed well past the point of that's just what the internet does. Ian had a recent revelation. He's transcended into a new person. He's achieved nirvana and discovered empathy at age 32.
I think only in these past couple of years have I gained the ability empathy, and I'm very ashamed to admit that.
So yeah.
You gained empathy, and the result of gaining this empathy is you shave your head and start looking and mug for the camera like you're a fucking neo-Nazi? That's enlightenment and empathy? Because don't forget, under this fucking bullshit content cop hat that he wears, he's like beyond buzz cutted his hair. He's like, he went full fucking skinhead. And he's basically looking, like in the video we watched 2 days ago, he looked and acted like a fucking Nazi skinhead. That is empathy? Now, I said this before. He didn't find empathy. He found desperation because his channel fell off. And he wanted those sweet, sweet clicks and the sweet, sweet revenue. And he jumped on Hassan's cock and said, shoot some of that up into me, daddy.
No.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. That's what it is. This is all about desperation because he probably doesn't want to do a real fucking job. He wants to continue to make YouTube videos. And he knows that by jumping on Hassan's cock, he can do that. That's what this is all about. This is all about him staying relevant so his videos will get clicks. It is literally as simple as that. He didn't discover empathy. He didn't become a new person. He's literally just changing tactics. Hassan and his crew bring in a lot of eyeballs. He can get those eyeballs on his videos. Those eyeballs come with clicks and with ad revenues. It is honestly as simple as that. It's really as simple as that is.
Yeah, obviously things have gotten to a level that is absolutely disgusting. Someone's sending what is alleged to be human skulls to his home. Like, how messed up is that? How does anyone sit there and try to rationalize what's going on here? And of course, I guarantee you, every single person on this screen right now you're looking at, not a single one of them will say that's too far. Not a single one of them will say anything.
Are you kidding me? The way Denham's talked, she probably doesn't think it's far enough. She's flat out accused Helia of unaliving infants. Helia probably doesn't think it's fucking far enough. She probably thinks that Ethan and Helia and their whole family need to get sent, probably need to get sent a care package of, I'm not going to say because it's a bridge too far. But I guarantee you, they're saying it's not enough. Just sending skulls. They would, if they could get away with it, I can guarantee you. If they could get away with it and not catch a ban, they would outright say that Ethan, Helia, and their entire family should be deleted. I guarantee you, if they could, they would say it. The only reason why they don't is by doing so, Ethan would probably be on the phone with a lawyer as soon as that went live, demanding that Twitch take them offline and evict them from the platform. Not temp ban like Twitch is so fond of doing, but to literally delete them off the platform. They without question would do that if they didn't think that they would suffer those kinds of consequences.
Anything remotely close to sending human skulls to someone's house because you don't like their opinions is a bit too far. None of them will say it. In fact, what we're actually seeing is people in this whole crowd playing defense. They're already trying to defend themselves. You have that bad empanada individual once again making statements on YouTube saying, imagine getting destroyed so bad for genocide apologia that you are reduced to trying to play the victim by buying novelty human skulls, claiming that someone else sent them to you as a threat, and posting pictures of them with the tags from the store you bought them from still plainly visible. Zionists will do literally anything to avoid reckoning with the reality of their ideology. That's
really. So, empanada, what about terrorist sympathizers? You as the terrorist sympathizer group not doing the exact same fucking thing that you are claiming Ethan's doing, literally doing anything to avoid the reckoning of the reality with your ideology? And by the way, you're trying to claim that Ethan did this himself? Eh? Like, I've said it before. This shit is not going to stop until these people start getting hit in the wallet. Like, Ethan needs to start filing slander suits against these people. And theoretically speaking, he could justify that this is slander, that this could be negatively impacting his business, because this guy is flat out calling him a Zionist. He's making the statement that Ethan faked buying these skulls. That is slanderous. That argument could be made in court. That Empanada and all the rest of them are committing slander. Particularly Debubbbz. Like Debubbbz especially. I am amazed that Ethan and Helia have not got a lawyer to sue her for slander already. The minute Debubbbz put that, if I was in Ethan and Helia's situation, and I was made aware that Debubbbz put that live where she made that statement about Helia, my next phone call would be to a lawyer saying, get on this. Because I would wager that what she said, accusing Helia of that, is slander. Get her in a courtroom, get the people from Twitch in courtroom. Get them all in the courtroom. Let them defend what they said. Let Twitch defend allowing that to be said in front of a judge. Well, Bobcat, if it is shown to have a negative impact on their business or their lives, yes, they can. Yes, they can. And I would say that getting human skulls mailed to them, having people like Empanada make threatening videos directed at them, which is really close in conjunction with them getting false CPS calls, having human skulls mailed to them. Yeah, I'd say a lawyer could probably make that work. Well, it's not even just financial damages at this point. It's also like mental and emotional well-being. They are also like, I imagine they could maybe demonstrate the impact on mental and emotional. Like, I damn sure could if I was in their position. Any normal person. Okay, well, maybe not strictly defamation, but, like impact, psychological and mental impact, or psychological and emotional impact. Like any rational person would be psychologically and and emotionally affected significantly by those events taking place. At the very least, get them to spend money on a lawyer to defend themselves and get them into a court. Even if they lose the case, get them into a courtroom and have them explain themselves in front of a judge. Even if they lose the case, they have to try and rationalize and explain why they are accusing a woman of absolutely heinous crimes in a public forum without any evidence. And they would be forced to defend that in a court, and making Twitch defend their behavior in court. Exactly. That could be just as valuable as any money you might collect from a lawsuit. It's bringing it all into a very open public space. That is something I'd like to see. And Dimas, thank you for the follow.
Very, well, let's just say cope. Okay, at this point, they're trying to say that they're buying this stuff for themselves and then also getting the FBI involved. So they're going to buy fake props and then get a federal agency involved, which, by the way, would be a false report that would be illegal.
Exactly. Rev
They
just
would
said it. I was
risk
gonna
all
say
of
it.
that for this unnecessary step. They don't need any more.
And that's where Empanada's whole bullshit falls apart. Because any rational person, when he says, oh, they're trying to play victim by buying human skulls and claiming someone else sent it to them, they filed an FBI report. You don't think the FBI wouldn't figure out if they did it themselves and made a false report in about 2.5 seconds? You think the FBI wouldn't slap the fuck out of them if they did do that? The FBI would figure out in no time. Fucking Richard Hyde would figure it out in 2 seconds. And the FBI has got more resources than Richard does. Okay? Richard Hyde, by the way, is Angry Cops, for those of you that don't know. He's a detective. He probably heard that, he could listen to like 15 seconds of this and go, yeah, no, they wouldn't have done this because that would be incredibly stupid because exactly the reasons we just said. Oh, yeah, so they can try that all they want. Doesn't matter. Oh, Dimas, too much to go back over. You'll have to catch the YouTube video for what you missed. I'm sorry.
Legal. They would risk all of that for this unnecessary step. They don't need any more sympathy right now. They're winning
Rich Hyde?
this whole battle.
Oh, he's Angry Cops.
Okay,
He's a good
we're
guy.
seeing Cope here. Oh, they're winning. They're Ian and all these guys, they're winning, and Ethan's losing so hard he has to resort to this. No, everyone with 2 functioning eyeballs and a few brain cells can understand the optics of the situation. The content cop blew up in Ian's face and everyone involved. And now we're having these additional details coming out that make all of these people involved in this harassment campaign look even more foolish. And again, the burden's on them to prove that this stuff is fake. You want to make an allegation that this stuff is fake? Well, it's on you. And also, it's the message being sent. Well, it looks like very real skulls being sent in the mail, 2 of which, by the way, and also, coincidentally, he has 2 children. So I think the message is very clear, and any normal person would find this very disturbing and would rightfully report.
And not only could the FBI get involved, like I mentioned earlier, USPS could get involved too. Someone sent human skulls presumably through the mail. Postal inspectors can get in on that too. And they got their own brand of tick ass behind them too.
Report it to the authorities, which is exactly what happened. Now, moving on with this and wrapping it up for today, a lot of people are starting to speculate about Creator Clash 3. This is iDubbbz's big celebrity boxing event with content creators and alike. And it turns out that Jake Paul recently announced that his next boxing event will be on the same day as Creator Clash 3, which will definitely take away some of the traction for Ian, who's dealing with a lot because some people are obviously going to get a lot of pressure.
His Creator
for
Clash is
continuing
going to fail
with this
just as
event
bad as the
after
second
everything
one
that's
is.
happened. And boy, the sales aren't looking great. With only a few months to go,
Oof.
the blue here is the available seats for Creator Clash 3.
Chad? I'm sorry, for a second I thought we were looking at the available seating for the Snow White showings. This is actually the Creator Clash 3. I'm sorry, I got them all mixed up. Think about this. His Creator Clash is getting just as much popularity and pre-sold seats as Snow White. Oh, this is beautiful.
It's not looking good. He has definitely reaped what he has sown, and he's going to continue to. iDubbbz and his fall off here is painful to watch. I don't care who you are. This is really the bad ending of any YouTuber
Exactly,
like
Golden
this.
Dragon.
But
Exactly.
for now, that's all we have with the recent updates regarding this situation. I know that I believe by the time this video is live, I think Ethan's going to be streaming again, talking more about this, and I'm sure there's even more details, so I'll keep you posted on that. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Oh, goodness. YouTube, why are you recommending me my own videos? Oh, my. Well, yeah, and we got more info about the skulls. That one I really didn't know much about, but I'm glad I found out about that. Oh my.